Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Simon7TCG, and here we are back at it again with another Boltyn video. And today we are going to be looking at the updated Dusk Till Dawn Boltyn combo deck. And yet again, Josh Law did it again. I think that the groundwork that he laid with combo Boltyn was very good. But as a big Boltyn person myself, I decided to add my little twist to it. And I did see some room for improvement. I'd say the largest thing with my list compared to most other people's lists is, obviously we'll get into the card by card, but I'm running like not a lot of new cards. At least, like, I'm running way less, I should say, rather, right? The issue with most of the new cards with Boltyn is they require you to have a yellow and charge a yellow. Whenever a card makes you have a specific kind of card, and if people are able to disrupt you, your card just becomes worse. So imagine if you don't draw a yellow. Obviously, if you build your deck in a certain way, you're always likely to draw a yellow. But let's just say you want to even out your deck because you want to have the power of the reds, but with the resource management of the blues, so you have some amount of those. Let's say you get cards forcibly stripped from your hand, and you're left with just a red and a blue. Well, now you don't get the basis of what your deck is supposed to do. Let's say you have a yellow and a red. Well, the red is obviously the better attack, and you probably want that on hit effect. Now, if that card does ask you to charge a yellow, you're looking good. But then now, you're adding cards to your deck, meaning the reds that are now in theme of what your cards want to do. So, just finding the mix of power versus consistency versus theme is very hard. Now, we've seen Prism do something like this, but the thing that Prism got to do with building her deck around yellows is much more powerful than what our deck would be doing built around yellows. So what I looked at the OG Boltyn combo deck and just looked at the new card and said, okay, what cards can actually fit into the new game plan in this new meta? And realistically, it was just the Bannerets when it comes to the main deck. I don't find most of the Bannerets even to be that good. You really need Soulbound Resolve for most of those to be good. And I think in combo, I don't think Soulbound Resolve is that good. Obviously, you don't get to do the Lumina thing that quite well with Soulbound Resolve. So we're just running 6 Bannerets, and the Bannerets are giving us Quicken and Courage tokens. And obviously, we are running a switch build, and by switch build, this will be a fatigue defensive deck and a combo deck. And we do have a matchup guide for every single kind of matchup that you'll have. And this will be either your row or what you're against. For example, we'll get into the actual sideboard stuff later, but if you're against Dromai, you already have the setup here. You'll hear me say things like fast combo, slow combo. The difference between fast combo and slow combo means like you're just putting on the gas, you're trying to combo as soon as you can, either with a very large V for Vanguard turn or a very fast Luminous Engine combo. I've done combos as early as turn 1 with this build. Obviously now I needed a lot of things to go right, but I was able to do it, and it was amazing. Slow combo means that you're still aiming to combo because the fatigue plan is not really there. The fast combo, you're not going to be able to fast combo because you have a high amount of armor. They might have some disruption, so you're going to need to slowly build yourself up to that combo, but you're still aiming to combo, obviously. Obviously, again, for our illusionists, we have our poppers. We have our fatigue matchup, so for decks that are easily fatigable, like Dash, we run this setup against decks that just have too much disruption, and we are pretty much unlikely to be able to get combo off. We can run this plan. Now, I'll openly tell you that the wizard plan has been the hardest to do. In this tournament, it is just very hard to dedicate your plan to AB. It's been very hard because we're not on a lot of blues. Now, if we were on more blues, because you can see in the top right, we're only on 9 blues. I am not that confident in running actual Arcane Barrier. Now, against Kano, Obviously, the Radiant Flows are pretty good. They're just Spell Void 4, pretty much. Against Iyslander, not so much. I do think that we are just going to we're probably just going to concede to the Iyslander and try to race. I don't think trying to play a fair mid-range game into Iyslander is going to net us anything. So we'll get into the card by card. So starting off in the main deck, we're running 49 cards. Obviously, we're starting off with Rainbow Bolt of Courage. Rainbow Bolt of Courage is just one of the best cards in the deck. It's the best card that you can possibly play on your combo turn, besides exactly Viva Vanguard. But this is a more likely thing that you'll do on your combo turn. If you get to Viva Vanguard on your combo turn, it's insane. But the reason why I also still like this sometimes over the Viva Vanguard is if Beacon of Victory is how I fetch my Lumina, because I can swing with Bolt of Courage. It has the effect to draw. People are obviously going to want to block that. But then you can Beacon, pump it, get the draw, get the Lumina, and either that can help you pump into your Gallantry Gold, or it can just be an additional thing that you do at the end of your combo. Golfing Light, obviously one of their least impressive cards on the surface, but if you've played Boltyn, you know how good this card can be, especially early, for generating soul, as this on hit is just, it goes to your opponent's soul, it goes to your soul. Your opponent's not likely to block this unless they just have a dead card in their hand. But in the event that your opponent really wants to keep all the cards in their hand, they're probably not going to want to block this. They probably don't care. But getting 2 soul in one turn, in turn versus just 1 is huge, because that can mean you combo off a turn earlier than you normally would have. Really good. Express Lightning, it is just a 0 for 4. That also allows you to charge. Obviously, this has absolutely no on-hit effect, but still, when it comes to being on rate, it is pretty good, and it charges, which is what we want. And like I said, like most other things in this deck, blocks 3, not too bad, right? Oath of Steel. Oath of Steel is one of the newer cards that we've played. It is not new to Flesh and Blood. I think last meta we actually started putting this into our decks because we were aiming to high roll a lot of decks. I think we've played it to the point where I think it is just generically good. There's a lot of times where you don't even play this on your combo turn. Sometimes you'll just be like, Oath of Steel, swing Saber for 3, go swing Saber for 3. 6 damage. You only lose 1 card. Honestly, it's not horrible. And obviously, when your opponent's at lower life, it gets even better. If you actually play this, if you get to play this on your combo turn, it's kind of insane. Because each of your weapons are going to attack 3 times. And this card can just get out of control. I think there was even one time I was able to play 2. Now, that was on a insane cash-in turn. I played double Oath of Steel. It was not pretty for my opponent. Let's just say they were at full health and they died. Let's just say that. Rainbow Take Flight, pretty good obviously for going wide. It's really good if your opponent has permanents like Dromai and Prism. This allows you to have damage to send at them, or a dragon or an ally, and then maybe kill an aura or kill an Ashwing. It just does a lot. This is also a card that, if you guys are newer to Boltyn, most people fall into the trap of just constantly sending this card, even if they have nothing to do afterward. They'll pitch a red, take flight, charge, do nothing afterward. This is actually a card I really enjoy pitching, because how your combo works, when you actually successfully combo, is you actually reach your pitch stack that you start in the middle game very, very fast. Faster than most decks, actually, even faster than decks like Kano. If you pitch these, and then you combo off, and then you end up reaching these in the hyper late game, when your opponent's on very low life total, this card becomes an absolute bomb for your opponent to have to deal with. Especially if you do happen to draw one of your blues, you can take flight into Saber if your opponent's at sub 10, and that can pretty much just give you your opponent's hand, and then you can just get free tempo just because you had natural go again. We're on 1 Valiant Thrust. I think Valiant Thrust is fine, but not very good. A 1 for 7 in a vacuum. I don't think anybody would say it's bad, but it has to be 1 for 7. So what this means is you probably had to play a Take Flight or a Viva Vanguard and have a resource floating, which isn't impossible. But again, we're on 9 blues. So having extra resources isn't always the case. Because we're on a lot of yellows, like, there will be times it is there. But because we can be induced to fatigue versus some decks, a lot of times I just use a Saber on that. But obviously, if the Valiant Thrust lines up, we will use it, and it does naturally pump itself, so we can give a go again with Boltyn, so it does have some stuff there. We're running 6 Bannerets, we're running 3 Banner cards. They have a Courage token. The Courage token says the next weapon or attack action card you do is +1, so this works obviously really well with Boltyn. This allows us to use this hero ability without the opponent needing to interact with us at all. We just get the pump effect. And Balance Gallantry just gives us a quicken token, so we don't even have these Boltyn, we just get free go again. Obviously really good. Then we go into some of the heavy hitters in the deck. We obviously have Beacon of Victory and Lumina Ascension. You have 6 copies of Lumina Ascension, obviously because you have 3 Beacon of Victory. But the one thing about the Beacon of Victory is it doesn't just have to always get Lumina. Especially post-combo, getting a Beacon of Victory and just using it to get like another Bolt of Courage or something. One thing I actually really like to do is I like to Beacon of Victory. Because it goes to your hand, I'll just grab like a Viva Vanguard and chuck it in Arsenal for the next turn. Especially if I got my opponent's hand, or I know they just won't threaten me on the backswing that much, I can just set up another big turn. Obviously, the key card of the deck is Lumina Ascension. I know it does have a lot of text, but it's actually very, very simple. Basically, if you have charged, you may attack additional time with each weapon you control. On our common turn, we're at minimum going to be playing 2, so at minimum you can swing with each sword 3 times. That's obviously very, very good. And weapons you control get +1 and read. If this hits, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a light card, you can put it in your soul, gain life. Otherwise, put it on your deck. This is one reason why we're primarily running light cards. Obviously, we do have some non-light cards like Oath of the Steel and a lot of the sideboard cards. But because your deck is still primarily light, you will more oftentimes than not get this effect. Key thing is it going into your soul does not count as charging, so if things like Bannerets go into your soul, they won't actually trigger because they're not being charged. That is one thing to keep note of. Viva Vanguard, probably the best non-Lumina Ascension card in the deck. It's a specialization for a reason. What this allows you to do is allows you to charge multiple times within this one card. Let's say you have this in Arsenal and you pitch a card, you can charge literally 3 times with one card, and that's pretty good, especially like if you go turn 0, you Arsenal this, your opponent doesn't do a lot, and you then play this and you like pitch a blue, like it's just insane. It's crazy. Especially on cash in turns, this card just goes nuts. And this also does have the Anthem effect of saying your attack should control this combat chain and get +1 for each light card. So this is another card that says light cards matter. So for example, if you charge 3 light cards, this will now come in for 6. And then like your swords will also get +3, your attacks will get +3, everything gets +3 if you were able to charge 3 light cards. So you can have just some disgusting turns with this card. So going into the natural sideboard, obviously this is a transformative deck that we go into multiple game plans. So things that will be, these are things that will never start in the deck by default. These are cards that are added in depending on the matchup. We have 3 red Vapor Scene. Vapor Scene obviously is just a 0/4 defense direction, allows you to opt. This is just some card selection. Not much to say here, it's just pretty good. We are on exactly 2 reinforced line. This primarily matters for CNC decks, also decks like Azuri, just to reach certain breakpoints without the need of Drex, because obviously if they like Azuri and a CNC, your Drex kind of just looks pretty bad. And also the one thing about committing a D-React whenever they Azuri, if you're already blocking for let's say 3 or so, and then they Azuri in like a 4 power thing, you kind of blow yourself out by reinforcing the lining. You're committing 2 cards to something, and a lot of times it's like a surgical, which, yes, we don't really want the damage to hit, but if you're talking about efficiency-wise, we lost on efficiency and point value a lot by reinforcing lining, by D-reacting, but Reinforce aligning, we get to really pick and choose when we want to buff, when it actually matters, and we get to run a lot of other effects. So reinforce aligning is good, obviously, because it doesn't inherently block itself, and we do run some non-attacks, not a lot, but some. We do want to make sure that we don't get clumped. And obviously this is a red, which doesn't really help a bunch. 3 at Sink Below. Sink Below is just a good card, I don't know what to tell you. Just allowing you to filter, allowing you to block before, not much else to say here. Rolling exactly 1 Boltyn Blade. Boltyn Blade is primarily here for a popper, but in the case that you ever do actually play it in the Drumlight or Prison matchup, and you just, again, for some reason it lines up and you get to play it like on a Viva Vanguard turn, it's pretty good. If you charge twice, it costs 0. If you charge once, it costs 2. Neither one of those are bad. Obviously, paying 4 for it's pretty underwhelming, but there won't be a lot of times where you actually play this for its natural cost. Cash in, one of the big reasons that the deck flows the way it does. The only issue with cash in is the only cash in that's good is the first one. The second and third ones are pretty bad because we're only on 9 blues. Now, most people would say, well, just cut it down to 2. The issue is we really do want to see this because we are sacrificing block value from our helmet. We want to be able to enable the card that is making us play this helmet. So we do, unfortunately, have to run 3. At the end of the day, it is a yellow, so we do get to do things like take flight into a Saber or a double Saber, or Viva Vanguard will have one floating and do something else. So it's not the worst there. And the one good thing about Boltyn, I will say, is when it comes to dead draws, you can't always just get rid of your dead draws by charging them, and they're gone forever, unlike other decks where you have to intentionally block, even if it may not be good to do so, or you have to pitch them and then eventually you'll see them again. Boltyn can just say, I don't want to see these cards again, they're going to the soul. Celestial Cataclysm doubles as a popper and a very big late game threat. This is another card that, in the matchups that you're not playing it as a popper, this is a card that you want to intentionally pitch early, because again, post combo, if you see this, you're going to have plenty of cards in, so to enable this, and a 0 for 7 go again is pretty mint. Soul Shield, one of my favorite cards in the game, is a 2 for 6 that goes to your soul. This is really, really, really good going second against a lot of decks. Even if it's inefficient, I will just Soul Shield something just to get the free card in soul. And the 6 can cover up a lot of breakpoints. Shockingly enough, especially in against Bravo and Azalea, if this is your arsenal, you can just freely block 9, which a lot of stuff just doesn't get over that unless they have super buffed it. So it's pretty good there. Spirit Nara, even though it's one of the better cards in our deck because of how it interacts with Luminous Ascension, because it's inherently an O-block, we are not starting with it in every single matchup. There are multiple decks that we don't even play Spirit of Nara into, just because, again, it is a no-block, or we don't really need the Luminous Ascension to instant speed because we're on a very slow game plan. And the fact that it doesn't inherently do anything, especially post-combo, it will be staying in the sideboard, but obviously there's a lot of matchups where it does come in. Bastion of Unity, one of the cards that help us with the Fatigue matchup. This is a new card that says it has Unity. When this defends with another card from hand, so key thing to know this has to defend at the same time. That's what it says together, so you cannot Bastion of Unity and then Sink Below and get its effect. It has to be during the block step. It says it gets +1 till end of turn and temper. So the first time you block with this with Unity, it'll block for 2, then it'll block for 1. So it is just a Stillblade blocker that has a condition to become a Stillblade blocker, but we can't run Stillblade blocker, so we have to run the in-class version that we can run. So yeah, we have our second Saber here, just because obviously some matchups we might have the Bastion, but obviously more often than not we will be having the Saber. Courage of the Bloodhold, one of the better cards, the thing that truly does enable the combo with Luminous Ascension, making all your sword swings free because they will cost 1 less and they cost 1 at base. Another really cool thing about this is it's 2 temper. Even though we primarily will never get the second block out of it, just because we are saving this for combo, the fact that it initially blocks for 2 is actually really good, and it's actually better at blocking than most equipment. Crown Dominion, one of the signature cards in our deck, and why the deck is tuned the way it is. In all it reads is our hero is royal. It's a good thing Arachne's bad. And when you equip Crown of Dominion, create a go token. So at the start of the game, you have a go token. This can lead to some really explosive plays with cash in. And then if you happen to have multiple blues in hand, like, you can just crack the go token and see what happens. But primarily, we're cashing in on that go token. Counter Goad. This is a +1 Anthem effect for all of our weapon attacks. This is really good on our combo turn to just make our damage numbers much higher. And on just some random turns like post combo, you can just pay, if you have a blue, you can just pay into this, swing both your sabers, call it a day, swing for 6. Getting not technically 6 damage out of your equipment, you're technically only getting 2. But because it enables go again usually on average is 3, so you can kind of call it 10 points of value, even though it doesn't truly work that way. But I'll say Counter Goad is one of the best cards in the slot. Helm of the Sharp Eye. This is a welcome addition to the deck that we started playing last meta, especially against decks like Odom. This has Battle Worn 1, which is obviously really solid because we can block with it and it stays. And it reads, attack for action, you pay a red, destroy it, manage the top card of your deck, you may play this Comet Chain. Key thing is the speed at which you play it does still matter. So if you do this and you flip over like an Oath of Steel, you can't just flash in the Oath of Steel. You do have to wait until the stack is clear and you are able to play it at sorcery speed, quote unquote. And you can also only activate this when you control power twice than its base. So when your sabers are at least +2 at 4 damage, you can activate this or more. Commonly, it will just be on your Lumina turn where you just double Lumina and you might have hopefully 2 resources floating and you can actually Helm and Counter Goad and just pop off that way. Iron Song Versus. This is one of my favorite cards in Boltyn right now, especially in the Raiden strategy. But even in this deck, it does offer some merit because we're going to primarily be playing it in the Fatigue matchup. And for just a yellow, we can activate this and then swing sabers. And what this does is this gives our saber some relevancy, because obviously naked 2 damage isn't very impressive. But if we can constantly just pitch Iron Song, swing saber for 3, that extra damage will add up with a courage token, and then puts us almost on rate with a lot of other weapons, damage wise. And we're doing that for a yellow versus like a lot of decks have to pitch a blue. Does also have Temper 2, which is very solid. Run Radiant Flow and Radiant Touch. This is again primarily for the Kano matchup, and can come up in the Ice Center matchup. This is new. These are new cards. It says banish this and a card from Hero Soul, prevent the next 2. So what we're primarily doing when a deck like Kano plays Aether Wildfire, we can literally just banish 2 cards from our soul, prevent the next 4. And a lot of times, even their super buff wildfires will only hit for 2, sometimes 1, sometimes even 0, and then they are pretty much hosed from there. Snapdragon Scalers, go again, not much else to say here. Soulbound Resolve, this will be our chess piece in the Fatigue matchup. This is also really, really good going first in that said matchup. Going second. Because it says when it defends, you may charge a hero soul. So what this does is this allows us to get very cheeky and build up soul. We still are playing cards like Lumina Ascension and Beacon of Victory in the Fatigue matchup, and just being able to get soul earlier for almost no cost to be able to enable those cards later on, obviously very, very good. One other thing that this does in the Illusionist matchup is this can turn your Reef of Vanguard into a popper, because what you can do is block with Reef of Vanguard, block with this. Obviously, you're going to be overblocking, but still. You can charge a card. All Valiant Thrust says is if you charge this turn, it gets +3, so it goes to 7. We've met that effect, it becomes a popper. Something very sneakily good. And it says, the first time you'll be dealt this turn, if you've charged this turn, prevent 1 of that damage. Technically, that was on both sides, so in theory, against wizards, that does help out a little bit more, but it usually does not come up that often. It is also Temper 2. So, going into how we sideboard, I'll briefly talk about each way we sideboard and the theme that we're doing. So we'll start with Drumeye. This is what we're running into Drumeye. We're running the standard combo package. With just running our 4 poppers, nothing much else. Some people don't actually run Spirit into Dromai because of Kyloria, and I actually run Spirit because of Kyloria. Obviously, this enables us to go fast with Luminous Ascensions. But what this also does is we can actually let Kyloria hit, and because it checks for an item first, they actually take our Spirit, and they get no benefit off of this. So we get pretty much one freebie against Kyloria that we don't really need to prioritize blocking. Other than that, this is a very standard setup, nothing special here. Next, we'll actually go straight to the Prism. We're pretty much doing the exact same thing here, no actual changes. You're playing the matchup very similar. So this is going to be our fast combo going first. As I said at the beginning of the video, fast combo means you have foot on the gas, you're trying to reach your combo for as soon as possible, whether it be your Review for Vanguard turn, that just swings for like 20, or your Luminous Ascension turn. We have all gas, no brakes in this. Next, this is going second. The difference between going first and going second is we are adding Soul Shield and we are taking out a few Celestial Cataclysms. The reason why we're doing that is obviously we get a free card in Soul with Soul Shield if we draw in our opening hand. As well as Celestial Cataclysm does become a slight bit weaker if we are not able to. We theoretically lose a turn of charging. It's kind of hard to explain, but in essence, it's much slower to turn this on just by going second instead of first. It doesn't make a lot of sense if someone hasn't played Boltyn, but if you've played Boltyn, you understand where I'm getting at here. But yeah, other than that, very, very simple. This is a very standard setup. This is the fatigue setup. The fatigue setup is obviously aiming to block a whole lot into swing value with weapon when we can. The good thing about Boltyn is literally every single card in our deck blocks 3 or blocks 4, or in this case, blocks 6. The only things that don't are obviously cash-in, which are not even in the deck. So when it comes to blocking, we're looking pretty good here. We're aiming to also get value of our equipment. We do have a lot of block with our equipment. We even have Radiant Flow for just an extra block. Obviously, most people are running Valiant Dynamo in this spot, and why I do completely understand why they're running Valiant Dynamo. The reason why, for those who don't understand, Valiant Dynamo says if you attack with weapons 2 or more times this turn, you remove a counter on it, and it has Battle Worn 1. So if you just Lumina Ascension, you get a counter back. You Lumina Ascension, you get a counter back. You Lumina Ascension, you get a counter back. That's very, very good. It's also very, very good for rocking like a 4 breakpoint, for example. But I think the goal of this deck is we really want to suppress the most amount of damage that we can. And the amount of spots that we're actually going to be able to enable a card like Lumina Ascension in this version of the deck, which really means either our opponent stumbled or we are taking excessive amounts of damage to do this. And I don't really think I want to rely on our opponent stumbling or me take excessive amount of damage just to gain 1 counter, gain 1 block. When it really matters the most, I can just net break 2. Right. Wow, cool. I don't know why that just happened. Okay. This is extremely awkward. Alright, moving on. The slow combo, this is just, our normal combo with just running the D-Reacts. This is obviously, again, if we can't really go balls to the wall, but obviously combo is still good. What this pretty much did is just we added more D-Reacts naturally to our combo, and we're not on cash in our crown. We do actually add the Helm to Sharp Eye just for a little extra blocking because we are going to have more defensive turns in this version of the deck than normal. And also again going to the Wizard, we have pretty much Soul Void 4 here, and other than that we're just trying to race. So that's going to be the deck tech version of that. If you guys actually watch this part, first of all, thank you for watching all of this. Hopefully I explained things well enough. And if you skipped ahead like a lot of people did to the gameplay because you guys want to see this gameplay in action, let's go do that. Well, I actually think we probably need fast combo, to be honest. Okay, this is actually wonderful. This is actually pretty good. Alright, what is supercharge? Get 2 cards in there. We'll take that every day of the week. 2 free cards. You can probably just do it again. I honestly, I might just, I'm just going to sign up for this. I'm literally just going to sign up for it. I'm just going to get 2 more cards and so, and now we just wait for our combo. I doubt they block. They don't really need to. They have nothing to be scared of. It's just 4 damage. I don't have access to get go again. We do want to keep the blue, just in case we do so far. I do want some on the resource cards. And technically the text like could go anywhere in the deck, but yeah, I'm more likely to see it after the shuffling the deck than I am just keeping it at the bottom. Oh, we get a card out of them? Oh. That's unexpected. It's gonna crush me again. That's fine. Always block like this. Take no damage. They're gonna CNC me pummel. They're gonna CNC pummel me at some point. Probably now. Not much I can do. Come on, let it make it disable. Go ahead and disable me. Choke slam. Honestly, not as bad as I thought it'd be. I thought it'd be much worse. If that's the case. If that's the case, honest to God, it probably doesn't really matter what I block with. We're gonna just try to get cheeky here. And just use the less impactful card. Less likely to get blocked. This way we can actually make our beacon a little bit bigger, or our celestial cataclysms a little bit better as well. 6 cards and so it's super easy. Oh, we got cash in. But I think we're just gonna get dominated for the rest of the game, to be honest. 3, 7, I can only block 7. So we're probably gonna get clapped here. No, I just take 11. Probably not. But fuck it, we will. Oh, we of course don't get the cash in the 1 card we want to keep. Makes sense, makes sense. We'll just pitch that. Like obviously it's a card that we want, but if I can keep the direct, I will. It's just gonna probably okay. Alright. The block 6. I mean, does it matter? Are we even doing multiple things anyway? This is a, oh, it's probably a pummel. I don't really want to die. I mean, it doesn't technically kill me, but I needed to like not take 44 damage, pretty much. Yeah, this is an unfortunate game that when we woke up, we just weren't really going to be allowed to win. Yeah, Raul does this sometimes. He just says you're not going to win the game. You just gotta accept that you're not gonna win. This is the one unfortunate thing about Boltyn. So I think the one way, so people might look at this game and say, okay, ain't no fucking way you're, okay. I was about to have questions. Okay, you have a full thing armor, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. We will get to come off the turn, so we do get saved. LMAO. Depending on how much he blocks, will change how much we beacon a victory. I do want to get around a D-react, so +5. This gets around a D-react. Hold on, snaps it. Keep the cards in soul. I'll draw a card as well. And it hurts in another way. We'll get to end the chain with Banner of Courage, which is isn't too bad. Could try to high roll and crack the go token, but hopefully this gives me an extra turn. If I can just draw cash in, we can try to have another big turn. Oh, this already had go again. You're right. You're right. Alright, so I just kind of gone with that first attack. Direct time? No. Signs up for it? Okay. Okay. Are we cooking? Tasty. Alright, I noticed you have double choke slam there. That's crazy. Paired it with a sync below. See? That's why we pumped. That's why we specifically pumped as much as we did. Literally, I'm the smartest legend in the land. Alright, we will buy the whole entire hand here. We do now have a chance to win. We have a chance to win because our opponent fumbled. Fortunately. Do they actually block this, or do they try to still swing hammer? Still gonna try to swing hammer at us. I mean, I guess that's fair. But they would get majorly punished without Celestial Cataclysm. It's only Banner of Courage, so they'll take 4. They're probably just swinging hammer back at us. But we draw cash in. Yeah, this game's just over, dude. They don't even... Oh. Jesus Christ. I understand this person has a family. But unfortunately, I don't remember asking. So we're going to probably get his hand here again. These are naturally pumped. So we can buy cards now. Hopefully he blocks this as well. Yep. He'll still leak 1 damage, which is pretty cool. We will send... If he blocks this. If he blocks this. We could technically send lethal that way. I'll do it like this. Because I don't think he's probably comfortable going to 1. Oh, he's just comfortable going to 1? Oh, okay. Well, I got punished, I guess. I didn't think he would want to just go to 1. So he has pummel here, like that part's extremely obvious. We'll just not get pummeled here. Let's see, well, exactly CNC pummeled. And like I said, if we block 9, happens anyway, we'll just still present lethal. He'll have to give us a card. Yep. Still had to give us a card. It's all good. We know we don't have any of the no blocks left. We have our beacon, so we can do. Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, if you're gonna have a good hand, that's a cool hand to have. So, Macho and Buckling Blow revealed, so we're getting hammered after this. So, we can block 3, take 4, go to 5, and then block hammer. Alright? Hold on. So we block like this, take 4, go to 5, he swings hammer for 6. Yeah, I think we win. I think we win. Swings hammer. Yep. And we can't get pummeled or anything. And then we just get to swing at him. It is only gonna be +2. If he has a showtime, it's kinda unlucky. Well, actually, I guess it probably just doesn't matter what he has. If he this bastard has a D-react. This bastard has a D-react. Oh, you're gonna fire it first. Yeah, I thought so. So we could beacon a victory for 1. Give it a go again, see if that and buy another card. Which I think we probably have to do. We have to buy another card from him. Could block with Tunic and Creative Fist. Hopefully he just doesn't recognize that. Okay, he gives us a card. A Dominate would kill us though. Okay, well you're just the fucking goat, I guess. Well. Okay. Okay, so yes, we do lose this game. And normally I wouldn't show losses on the channel. But you can see the massive, like, our opponent was massively ahead. And we were given 1 turn to combo off, and our opponent did draw very well. And they were able to get the victory. Is what it is. Oh, directional combo. They're on Halo. Okay. Will they actually attack us, though, is the question. Will they attack? I can see an argument for them not attacking. Okay, they do. Okay. Charge protection. Yeah, I don't understand why we have all the Benareds in there. Most of them are just bad. Even though it is a massive, and I do mean a massive, like terrible play, we are still going to Soul Shield. It is free soul. It is literally free soul. So we're on par with soul with them, and now we have tempo. Well, we get a beacon, so we have access to really good plays here. Probably do the engulfing light, charging the Valiant Thrust. Not V for the Valiant Thrust. It is probably not likely to go through. Unless our opponent is just no blocks, which means they just don't want to win. Because with 3 cards in soul, I'm super comfortable with popping off. Maybe they have a D-Ract? Okay, they got the D-Ract, that's perfectly fine. There is a world here where I can just beacon for 2, get this card back in soul, get Illumina, but that's just a little too hyphy for my liking. I know certain old builds were on CNC. I don't think their build will be on CNC. So I'll put the beacon in there, and we will just hope to not get punished. Probably looking to block with the blue Bolt of Courage and the blue Engulfing Light. Dying Thrust is pretty good there. Pitching Illumina Ascension. Anytime you pinch the combo cards, it means you either have too many in your hand or you're not looking to combo anytime soon. Put a Fate Foreseen in Arsenal, okay. Oh. It's like that, huh? You pitch the combo piece, charge the combo piece. Sure. You can... Sure. By all means, you can lose a soul for 2 damage. Or, I guess it'd be 3, but hey. I do not care. Whatsoever. I would like you to pass priority, Mr. No Arsenal, 2 soul. I hope I don't get high road and he just like draws in the combo, like in like 2 turns. That would be gross. That would be gross. Well, it's a good thing I don't do arcane damage. I'm at Spell Void 3, Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is not likely to get blocked. We can buy a card for it. What? Alright. Am I getting pranked right now? I can't tell if I'm being pranked. I'm gonna blow this guy's back out. Pause. Okay, last soul is like fine. Gets paid off by actually getting a card in soul. Didn't actually charge anything. Doesn't really matter. There was an option to try to counter push with Goof Vanguard, but I don't think that's actually necessary. We can just send Express Link 5. Losing the 1 block on the counter code is pretty huge. Now, please, I'm actually hoping they don't block with the Courage or Blade Hold. I will get very upset if they do that at any point besides. I don't even know when I would want them to block with Courage. I think they can unblock with Courage unless they intend to combo off, which, unironically, they could just have combo in hand, and this game would just suck. This is a hand. Okay. As long as they don't exactly have combo, watch them have combo. We're about to fuck them up. Small dick style. Come on. Yeah. Don't care. Come on. Pass the fucking turn. Pass the fucking turn. No. Don't you fucking do it. Don't you do it. Are they just the better player? Okay, they're not the better player. They're not the better player. Dude, I thought they're... Dude, when he activated Boltyn, my heart just like sunk for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why they call me the People's Boltyn. Cash in. Okay, okay. Sayonara, I guess? Um, this is gonna get real tough, I guess. It's gonna get real tough. Only having 2 block on your equipment and you won't even get a second block with it's pretty bad. It's. I think they would. I think they lose on the spot if they block with cards. Okay, if you block with one, it's fine. Do not block with the second card. Oh, jeez. Oh, okay, okay. No, no. Put that card back. Oh, please don't do this, man. I don't want to kill you like this. You're my Boltyn brother. Oh, no. No, Shaggy, no. No. Not like this. Not like this. Oh, no. Tony. Antonio. Why, Antonio? So, I'm I'm sorry, Mr. Opponent. Sir, I'm gonna put sorry in here. This is about to get tough. So, 5. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Would you like to pump it? Big favor saying, let's go, baby. Big favor saying. Okay. Big, let's go. Now, here is the unfortunate part about all of this. Is now, this sword over here is completely uncontested for 15. So you're going to take 15 and like it. Well, maybe not like it, but you are taking 15. So, it's a good thing you have Spell Void 1, that's all I'm going to say. You do have Spell Void 1. Spell Void 3, actually. Alright, so it's 11 to 36. Jesus Christ. Okay. I think the game is just over. I think the game is literally just over. There's honestly not much analysis here. It's just one person played the game properly. The other person decided to pitch and charge their combo pieces. And then activate Boltyn for 3 damage. When both people were in the 30s. Yeah. That's a thing. That is a thing that happened. Now, hopefully our opponent isn't doing the thing where they just stall. Blocking 4, eh? So now you legally cannot combo anymore. So here's the very, very unfortunate part about all this. Here's the unfortunate part. I am gonna make sure I keep 1 card. So, dude, honestly, dude, fucking banger. That's a pretty fucking banger fucking soul shield right there. For a real lucky if I still hit. Planning on getting Celestial Cataclysm, but do we want to do anything funny? No, let's get the Cataclysm. Let's just get it. And call it a day. Just call it a day, ladies and gentlemen. Oh Oh yeah, we drop that. Hilarious. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. And GG. Alright guys, hopefully you guys seen what Boltyn can do in this format with those two games. Obviously you can see the pop-off potential where you can just say take 24 and take your hand and heal a bunch. Because mind you, I ended that game at 36. Obviously, he didn't only hit me for 4 that game, like, obviously, right? He punishes people for blocking when he has certain cards, obviously. But two people chose, some of his attacks are just underwhelming. Like, Engulfing Light, for me, I like it, but obviously for my opponent, it's not very threatening. Unless I quickly actually draw the combo pieces to get the payoff for the extra soul that I get. But also, you can see those games where you don't really get to do much, and your deck just sucks. But you get one turn of reprieve, you combo off, and all of a sudden the game becomes very, very close. Like I said, that Bravo game, which I believe the game you guys will be seeing is the Bravo game. I recorded a bunch of games. I don't know which ones are going to be on there, but I would probably some of them where I put the Bravo game, or I put the Lexi game on there, but the Lexi game was a mega high roll. Like that's calling my golf in turn 1's insane, but that was just like a non-game. Like Lexi didn't really get to play the game. But against the Bravo, I believe I was behind like 25 or almost maybe 30 life and crawled back, almost won. So you can see the power Boltyn. So we'll have to see if the Distill mana shapes up to the point where there's a little bit less disruption. And if there's not, I think Boltyn's pretty good. I think Boltyn play at the highest level can be tier 1, tier 1.5, but obviously playing Boltyn at max potential is very hard. So if you guys enjoyed that video, make sure you guys like, subscribe. If you guys want to see another deck tech or deck guide, let me know. It's been your boy Siphon from Siphon TC.